Welcome, everybody. It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's on the news today? The PS5 possibly has a version 2 Dual Sense controller coming up with a 12-hour battery life. Let's find out. So, rumor is there is a listing spotted by Rust ERA user Isidro3. Yeah, somebody explain that text to me. Is for an $89.99 Canadian dollar PlayStation 5 V2 version 2 Dual Sense controller, white. While the controller appears to have the same dimensions as the current one, it has what's described as an exceptional 12-hour battery life on a full charge, which supports long-term gaming. If that is true, this would be a significant upgrade on the current version, which only lasts about 6 hours. Elsewhere, depending on the games played. Elsewhere, a dual sense charging station is said to be included, offering easy click in charging. Now, I kind of like that, having the charger come with it. So Best Buy full description reads, take the gaming action into your own hands when you play with the PlayStation 5 V2 DualSense wireless controller with dynamic triggers, a built-in microphone, and so much more. This gaming controller offers a truly immersive experience. The iconic, comfortable design lets you play for hours. So, I like the ideal of a new PlayStation 5 controller with good battery life. PlayStation has never been known for their good battery life. And their batteries usually crap out pretty fast too. I mean, I think my PlayStation 4 never left the charging cable for the last 2-3 years of its life. So, but that is really good news. Now, don't get confused like I did originally when I read the article. This is not a new Pro controller. It's just a regular PS5 controller, but it's just a newer version. But the 12-hour battery life is pretty nice. Right now, I won't be partaking in it because I don't really need it. I don't play my PlayStation that much in a day. I play first-party games with it, and there's just not that many out there. Plus, the way I'm set up, I can just plug it in if I need to, so not that big of a deal. But for a lot of gamers, that's a good thing, especially those of us that forget to plug things in. I am bad about that, so that's kind of, maybe I do need it. I think the best part about this, though, is the charging dock that's supposed to come with it. Now, I don't know. I think for that price tag, which is I believe, Pat, you said that rounds out to $69.99 US. So that's your average game controller cost. I don't see a charging station coming in with it for that price. Now, granted, charging station really is just a piece of plastic with 3 metal prongs on it. They're probably not that much to manufacture, so I don't know. But I just don't feel comfortable with that part of the rumor. So, but what about you, Pat? What do you think?
I'm excited about the click-in charging because I hate my DualSense chargers that you have to buy separately. I feel like I'm playing Find the Hole every time. I lay that thing down in the charger block and I'm like sliding it back and forth, left and right, and I'm like, it's going to eventually go in there. Then you hit that slump as it falls into place. You're like trying to find in the dark 2 very tiny holes with a charging port. I'm like, this thing is just, it's not like you can set it on the charging dock and it just falls right in, right? It never happens. It's like you set it in and you're like, I don't think that's in. And you rock it a little bit and you're like, nope, I can move left to right. It's not in. And so you're sitting there and fiddling with it until it drops in. So I'm like, if this is as simple as like the Xbox Pro controller charger, I'm in. I may just do it just because of that.
The Elite is the perfect controller charger. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. It just sucks itself right onto it. It's like magnetized. I mean, it is magnetized.
It is magnetized. Yep.
So, I like that. But yeah, that to me is the biggest thing over. And, when I do play my PlayStation, like I don't play it very often. I'm with Shane. I do play very long sessions because it's playing like the top tier games like Ragnarok and things like that, and I'm playing for hours. And I have 3 PlayStation controllers sitting out so that I can make sure that 2 of them are always charging while I'm playing the other one. 5 to 7 hours of battery life is not ideal for an all-day gaming session or an all-weekend gaming session. I'm me, unlike Shane, I always throw it back on the charger, but I get frustrated because every time I get done playing with it, I'm playing find the 2 prongs or the charging cord, Um, so to me, that's the selling point more than the extra hours, but the extra hours are the bonus to me. The click-in charger is the seller right here, and then the extra 5 to 7 hours of battery life is like the piece de la resistance there. And if it's going to be the same cost as a regular controller, because I think the regular controllers are $69.99, and I think the cool extra colored controllers are $70. This is or $80, excuse me. That's a deal. So I'm like, where do I sign up? And when do you guys come out with like the purple and the red and the blue and the other colors? Because I want those too. So sign me up for $70, because I think $89.99 Canadian roughly comes to about $67 and some change in US. But they're always like $70 controllers here when they're $89.99 there. So I'm ready to be signed up for an extra long battery life controller. So what'll end up happening is I probably won't pick it up when it first comes out, and I want to pick it up when I pick up that next first party game that I'm going to spend all weekend playing, and it'll be sold out. That'll be my luck. Or I'll just be buying a game and a controller at the same time, which is fine with me. Just so I can play for all day and not have to worry at 5-hour interval. Is my controller going to die? Depending on if I have the haptic feedback or the trigger feedback or the noises coming out of the controller. Whatever the game supports, the more features the game supports, the less battery life that controller has. And I mean, you will see it suck the life out of that controller, and you're going, did I get 5 hours out of that? Or was that 4? Or was that,
I think Ratchet and Clank really ate it, because Ratchet and Clank was basically a launch title, and it said use everything on the controller at least twice, and it did. It used everything.
Yeah, and so the controller just went. Like you can literally watch the meter go down.
Yep.
So
now Nick has the Pro controller. The PlayStation Pro one.
He got one of those. I didn't even realize he got one of those.
Oh yeah,
Edge controller.
And I think it has a 2-hour battery life. And what makes it worse is the docking station that comes with it. It looks similar to the series, the Xbox Elite, except for the USB just goes to the back of it. You still got to actually plug the controller in. It doesn't cradle on there. That's so stupid.
PlayStation can't copy anything Microsoft does. That's a no-no. That's the end of the world if they do that.
So, but they'll halfway do it.
I wonder what this click-in will be. I'm interested to see. I hope it's easy plug-in. That's what the thing is. Like I'm usually down in my game room playing games, and it's usually dark in here because my game room is in the basement. So when I'm ready to quit gaming, I'm usually turn off the console, turn off the TV, and it's freaking dark in there. And I'm like fidgeting around in the dark to put it on the charger. And I'm like, well, that was a mistake. I should have left the TV on or the light on, but it doesn't matter. Lights on. I'm still dropping that thing in and going, oh, there it goes. It's still like not the best type of design. I liked it back when you had the regular, I don't remember what they're called, but the PlayStation controllers that had the only charging port on the front when you just clicked it into the stinking docking station. It wasn't hard to click in a singular port versus these freaking 2 prongs and a port. It's like three legs made it harder.
So. Yeah. And it makes me wonder, are they working? I mean, I bet they were working on before the other one released, but are they working on an Edge 2 since they are bringing out a version 2 of the generic controller? Because it sold well, but it had a ton of complaints because of the things like the battery life. Primarily the battery life. The PlayStation Dual Sense is the best PlayStation model, bar none. The PlayStation model. I am still a Xbox controller guy. Don't get me wrong. Still, I still think it's the far as the ergonomics and the layout. I still think that is the best setup. Now, PlayStation controller has the little mic on there, which is when used properly, like for Ghost of Tsushima, Oh my God. It works so well for it. The little tings when the swords connect and things like that. I love the way it works on the PlayStation Dual Sense. The haptic feedback can be used properly and can be crap, just depending on your game. I turned it off with Ratchet and Clank because it was just too much. It was too overpowered. As far as pulling your trigger and then it's like click. You got to fight your way through. It just worries me. But
Yeah, it's like you're putting too much wear on the controller, right? You feel like eventually it's got to wear it out quicker. And to me, it's not that much fun. It doesn't add that much immersion to have a controller that a trigger that fights you.
The caveat to that is I did play Ghost of Tsushima PS5 version where they added in those features, and it works really well because it's not stopping you, but you can feel the connection of swords and things like that. So it's done in a different way. It's still used, but it's just used differently, and it works fantastic. It's really cool. Now, it doesn't mean you should play through the entire game again, even though that game is worth it. It's so good. But the fact that they're bringing out a 12-hour battery life on this thing and they're not raising the price, nothing in here said any new features, so that's fine. But I agree with Pat. They've got to get that charging thing, that charging docking that goes with it. They've got to get that to where it just goes click. Because Pat's right. I don't charge my Xbox controller that often, but my Xbox controller will last god dang forever on battery. I've never experienced a battery life like that. It's freaking amazing. My Elite is like my favorite thing. I got rid of my bedroom just so I could have a place to put my games in my Elite. So, but I am super excited that they're fixing that. They should have never had such a terrible battery life. And I hope that they are doing this on the Dual Sense Edge too, if they're working on it, which I bet they are, because that battery life, that's garbage. I mean, but
it just came out. I mean, it just came out.
No, it's been out for a while.
Or do you think they'll upgrade?
It'll probably be at the end of the year.
Dude, like that controller's only been out for a year. Not even a year yet. January 26th. So I mean, it's not even been a year. And Microsoft did how long between the Pro and the Pro 2?
Oh, yeah, like 3 years.
Pro.
Yeah, because you got your Elite controller for Series S. No, sorry, you got yours for the last
one. Yeah, on the 1X, and then when the Series X came out, I smashed one of the triggers on it and ended up buying it. But I wore that thing out. Like the rubber was coming off the grip. I'd play with it so much. I'd wore the rubber off the bottom selectors because I have a habit of picking at things when I'm playing sometimes, and so I picked at those. They came off, but this Elite 2 that I got, it's going strong.
That's man. I would have never expected my gaming to be changed that much by that controller. I really not. Now, you and Nick both took your paddles off. I keep mine on because when I play a shooter, like if I'm dropping Call of Duty, I set my nades and everything up to those controls. So it feels more just boom boom when I play. And fighting games, I also have it set up for like Mortal Kombat. I got a setup for it. So that's another story, but I love my Elite. So, but I am happy that Sony is coming out with a new controller with a good battery life. Hopefully, now PlayStation does have some drift issues. I've not experienced it yet, so lucky me. I don't think it's rampant, but it's enough to hit a few news articles here and there. So, but so does Xbox. So does Nintendo. Nintendo's the worst on them. So, but good news, plain and simple. Same price. Hopefully they come out in the atomic purple for Pat and the Barbie pink for Nick.
I just want them to do what Microsoft does with their controllers. We can completely customize the colors, even in the Elite series. I think you added that with the Elite 2, the core. I think you got one and Nick got one, and I wasn't special enough to get one. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can build one in your colors that you want. And that's what I want to do with my Elite too. So
Yeah,
I may end up with another one.
Yeah, all of those can be any color, almost any color you want. I've even got my gamer tag embossed on the bottom here. Love that. Wife hates me for spending that kind of money, but it was worth it. Plain and simple. The weight on this thing makes you play differently, and I love that. So, but not to demean PlayStation. You got a really good controller this round, and I'm happy about it. So,
Yep.
But you've improved. Just offset the freaking sticks. So that's my only complaint. Offset the sticks.
You're gonna have to get third party for that, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep, that's all right. I use my PlayStation controller to play certain games on the PC. So I use it to play some of my
Interesting
Game Pass games. I use my
PlayStation Xbox controller on my PC a lot.
Well, I could run my Elite to it, but I don't want to mess with it. So I just plug in my because I have an extra PS5
You have 3 profiles on that thing you could move over.
Yeah, but that's a lot of work, and I can just plug it right in.
It's not that difficult. It remembers both devices. So when you power it on, you just double click the sync button and it swaps over to the other device. It's super simple anymore to put because I have mine hooked up to my PC on my Xbox, and then the little sync button on the front, you just give it a double tap and it moves from one device to the other.
All right. Now I'll have to check that out tomorrow.
Yeah. It's super simple. Yeah, but I wish PlayStation would do that. I want PlayStation to do a design lab for their DualSense Edge. And
that would be cool.
The battery life.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because Nick's DualSense Edge, it's really nice controller. I've held it. I've played a little bit with it over at his house, and it's really done well. Nick's biggest complaint is that damn battery life. If you can't get more than 2 hours, you've done something wrong. Especially if this one gets 6. What did you do?
It's like 5 to 7, I think. Yeah, 5 to 7 on that guy.
Yeah, so they did something wrong. But but we're going to get a new one now. New one's going to get up to 12 hours. Hopefully that is an actual 12 hours and not up to, which means 1 out of 4 get 12. So let's see. But you got anything else on this, Pat, before we have to plug this booger in?
No, my controller's died. I need to go plug it in.
All right. So you made it to the end. Let us know what you think. Are you a fan of the DualSense? Are you a fan of the Pro or the Xbox Elite? Let us know what you think. Do you think you need a new one with better battery life? As I get to think about it, I definitely probably do. So let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit that notification, the subscription, all the good stuff we've got to ramble on about because we're your friends. Your friends need those buttons clicked. So anything you want to let us know, though, about this show or about us, you just pop them in those comments, too. And until next time, see ya.